Hey guys, so the other day someone asked me if I could show them how to sequence chords on a Roland JP08 using the Arturia Keystep. So I figured I'd make a tutorial video on exactly that. The only thing is I no longer have the JP08, but I do still have my trusty JU06. And essentially it should be the exact same regardless of which Boutique series synth you may have. The JP08, the JU06, or even the JX03. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to quickly go over the setup that we have here. First, we have a MIDI cable going from the MIDI out of the Keystep into the MIDI in of the JU06. Then we'll have to set the MIDI channel of the JU06 and the Keystep to the same channel. In order to do that, press and hold manual, press step button number 2, and now you'll see step button number 1 is flashing. This is indicating that we are currently set to MIDI channel 1. But you can change this to any value up to 16. And then on the Keystep, go ahead and press and hold shift. Here we have our MIDI channels from 1 through 16 as well. Go ahead and press 1. And now try playing some keys. Alright, and then over here I have a PO12 that is tempo synced using the Keystep's sync out into the input of the PO12. The primary purpose of the PO12 in this video is to give us somewhat of a visual guide to where the chords will sit within a 16-step drum sequence. Let's hear the drum pattern. Okay, so there we have a simple 4 on the floor drum beat, which means we have a kick drum on every beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's get started. First, make sure the Keystep is set to sequencer mode. We're going to set the time division to quarter notes, and then set the gate time to 25%. In order to change the gate time, just go ahead and press and hold shift. And over here you have some gate values from 10% to 90%. Go ahead and press this black key right below the 25%. Now to input a chord into the step sequencer, just press record, play a chord, press stop, and now press play. I'm going to play the sequence again, but this time with the PO12 playing along. Notice how the chord is playing on the exact same step as the kick drum. So with the sequencer set to quarter notes, we can play a single chord 4 times each within a single 16-step sequence. So 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can play 2 chords 2 times each. So we can play 3 chords with 1 chord playing 2 times and the others only 1 time each. Let's press record. I'm going to play this first chord twice, the second chord once, and the third chord once. Let's hear that. The first chord, 1 chord. We can play 4 different chords 1 time each. even sequences that include rests. I'm going to play chord one time, go ahead and put in a rest, and then the chord three times, or two times, sorry. Let's hear that. Let's hear another example. And here we'll play one chord twice, tap in the rest, and the last chord once. Press play. So those are all examples of how we can sequence chords within a single 16-step sequence. But in order to create a chord progression that will last longer than just 16 steps or one bar, all we have to do is play each chord a couple of more times per bar. Let me give you a few examples. So for the first example, I'm going to play two chords over a 2-bar sequence. That's 32 steps and a total of 8 quarter notes. So it's going to play the first chord 4 times and the second chord 4 times. Press stop, and now press play. One bar, 2 bars. For the second example, I'm going to play the same 2 chords, but over 4 bars. That's 64 steps and a total of 16 quarter notes. Play the first chord 8 times and the second chord 8 times. Press stop, and now press play. For this final example, I'm going to play 4 chords over a 4-bar sequence. The first chord I'm going to play 4 times, the second chord 4 times, third chord 4 times, and the final chord 4 times. Now when I press play, we will hear our 4-bar chord progression. Changing the time division setting will give you more chord steps per bar. If quarter notes gave you up to 4 chords per bar, then eighth notes will give you 8, and 16th notes will give you 16. 16 full steps per bar. I tend to just stick to quarter notes or maybe even eighth notes because I find it much easier to program chord progressions this way. You can, however, get some cool rhythms using the 16th note time division setting. I'm going to go ahead and play 2 different chords 8 times each, giving me a total of 16. Start this from the beginning. So you see, since they're playing every single step on the sequencer, and at this tempo, we're getting almost a tremolo-like effect. Let me show you another cool thing with 16 steps is that you can get really cool rhythmic patterns by including rests. Okay, so I'm going to play 2 chords, press record, play the first chord 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Next chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Press stop. And now when I press play, you will hear the rhythmic chord progression. One last thing I want to demonstrate here is how adjusting the gate time on the Keystep or the release time on the J06 will change the length of each individual chord. So you can have short chords with more of a gap between each step, or longer sustained chords with little to no gap, allowing each chord to smoothly transition onto the next. I'm going to go ahead and play a chord progression similar to the first one in the beginning of the video. Press play. Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it somewhat informative and useful. This was my first tutorial video ever, and I'm not gonna lie, it definitely was not nearly as easy as I thought it would be. But I do plan on making more videos like this one in the near future, so with time and practice, hopefully they will get better and easier. So just leave your questions and comments below, and be sure to stay tuned in for more from littleBIGsynths. Thank you.